So, hello, welcome to my podcast. I just want to say congratulations to me for just doing random shit all the time. I have these weed glasses. Like I said, I stopped smoking weed every day like 2 months ago. I rarely ever smoke anymore. I just love these glasses. So let's get right into it. First thing everyone wants to know about the $600 I paid this witch. So, if you're new here or you don't know what the fuck I be doing, like most people, I really wanted to learn business because I've been sewing since 2017 and I have yet to make an amount of money that I'm okay with, you know? So while I got my most recent 9 to 5, which I quit in May, but when I had it, I was making enough money to say, fuck it, let me just buy a course. And I came across her a while ago, but I paid this lady named Onami who calls herself the strongest witch in North America. Actually, that's what drew me to her because she said it on TikTok and like people were making so many videos about her, slandering her, saying all this shit, and I was like, that's my type of bitch. That's my type of bitch. So I paid her $200 a month to join her school, and in doing that, I went through a 30-day money ritual. Which, let me take the glasses off. I went through a 30-day money ritual, which I found really nice, actually. She does have a bit like satanic undertones, but she kind of explains them, in her own way, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. I know I'm not a Satanist, so I don't even really give a fuck. And a lot of the shit she was teaching was just like basic business principles, like scaling business, making a customer avatar, how to define your core audience, your core offer, a lot of shit like that with a really gothic occult undertone. So I was just like, okay, whatever, I'm here for it. Did the money ritual, and then I did her business class, and over the course it took me 3 months because the ritual itself is it actually might be 40 days. I'm not sure. I think it's 40 days. So I did that. It's pretty fucking awesome, honestly. But she said you can only do it once a year, so I'm not gonna do it again. So I did that. I did her business course, which it was okay. But the thing for me that was the most life-changing was doing her childhood trauma course. She had it as a course, but she also recently released the ebook while I was doing the courses. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get the ebook. I can't keep paying for this shit. Cause like I said, I had quit my job. So I'm like, I'm spending all my savings on this shit, and that personally changed my life. It changed my life so much that I made my own book on it. It's literally like 12 pages. It talks about my sexual assault history as a child and the different resources that helped me get to that point. And I feel like not the first chapter of her book, but the first actual trauma session that she details in the book, I felt like was just one of the most life-changing things for me. And so much so that I put it into a book and included the excerpt from her book in there. But like I said, I put other resources in there that might help people. So if you have trauma from COCSA, I would check out my book or, get on your own shit. I don't know. I feel like my book's pretty helpful and it's free on my website. So, gang gang. Specifically the guilt aspect. That's what it's about. It's about the guilt aspect of it. Now, continuing with her book, I felt like it was really insightful. It goes through all the chakras, which I never thought I would be a chakra person. Never. And it's kind of ironic because look at the shit I got going on. Like, oh, who would have thought? Not me. I cannot pick up on my own social cues. So anyway, I went through the book, and it just really helped me package and put away my childhood trauma in a way that I felt like I could finally start moving forward with my life. So after doing that, I feel like I just started coming across other hurdles in my life that were more present day, if that makes sense. Like I could finally deal with my present day bullshit because I wasn't worried about shit that happened 20 years ago, because I'm fucking 23 and I didn't want to be worried about that shit no more. Like I was just like, whatever, we need to pack that shit up. Amazon, UPS, ship that shit away. So I did that. It was pretty cool. In my last video too, I wanted to say real quick, I ended up leaving my art studio because it just made no sense to pay for it. Like I said, I was working at the time, and I was paying $400 a month in rent and was never able to be there. I just had no time to be there because I was working full time. Well, almost full time, but full time for me, because I'm not the type of bitch that can do 40 hours a week for the rest of my fucking life and then have a month off or 2 weeks off, whatever people get. I don't know, I've never got it because I haven't stayed long enough to ever get the benefits of having a full-time job. This recording in the bathroom is so much better than recording outside for me, and I should have known this because my environment in human design is caves. So like being in a small secluded place is way more beneficial for my ideas and just my like energy flow, especially when I'm trying to get new ideas and just like so yeah, that. As far as the business aspect, like I said, after I finished everything, I had a vision that I wanted to have a place where people could come, and I kind of saw myself as just a person letting people in. I wasn't actually working or doing anything, which leads me to believe that I want to do some type of like art exhibit or museum or some, even like a store, maybe a mix of all of that. And that's kind of my later on in life goal. I want to say like 2-year goal. As of right now, I'm a seamstress. Like I said, been a seamstress since 2017. Present day, I work for Urban Outfitters, and I occasionally work with other seamstresses who want me to sew their shit, or other designers who want me to sew their shit in the Philadelphia area. And I also do custom orders for people. Like I just recently made a custom skirt, and let me say something. I'm the best seamstress I know, which is like I know but I am like, and so many people tell me that, but it's gotten to a point where I can't keep doing that. I can't keep putting all my energy into sewing for other people because it takes so long, and people nowadays aren't willing to pay huge amounts for custom clothes in the way that I've been setting it up and dishing it out to people, you know? Like if I'm just giving them a plain skirt, you know, my Instagram looks my house is I'm sewing it in random places. Sometimes I'm sewing it in my art studio, sometimes I'm sewing it, you know, somewhere else, sometimes it's at home. It's not giving luxury business. So of course people aren't willing to pay luxury prices. And going through the business course really helped me recognize that, a lot of flaws in my business, and just realizing that I'll never be able to constantly sew $50 worth of, like a $50 garment, and then make $10,000 a month doing that. There's no time. It just, the math doesn't math. And that was day 3 of the money ritual. So it was pretty buzz. Day 3, I was like, oh my God, the math isn't mathing. Why did I not know this already? But when you're born into poverty and born into the hustle, you think that working your ass off 24/7 is the way to go. But realistically, you have to start to release your grasp on it a little bit. You have to like, all right, I need to be washing up every day. And I can't do that if I'm working my ass off every day, 24/7, you know? I can't. that's why I'm addicted to weed. Like, it just all started to make sense for me. I said I wanted to make this 15 minutes long when it's already at 11 minutes. So yeah, paid her $600, paid that witch. Was it worth $600? To me, yes. I was really sad though that I didn't get the instant gratification that I hoped for of just it changing my life overnight, which was what I was thinking I was paying for. But you're not. You're not. It's not that way. But yeah. I started posting a lot of content on TikTok too afterwards, because I just wanted to share my story more, specifically my assault stories, because there's plenty. There's plenty. So I wanted to share about that. So when Kanye West came out with his song Cousins, I was like, I just need to incorporate this into my content somehow. And what I really liked about Onami is that in her podcast, she would talk a lot about celebrities. So I decided I wanted to use like celebrities as like my icon for whatever I was talking about. So I used Kanye West, I ended up using Diddy, and I just kept going with that. And then eventually I made a chakra series too, because I just wanted to share what I knew about the chakra shit, so I could, again, put that shit away. So I did that, and I just kept posting. I posted a couple of controversial posts, like when I talked about how people were jealous of Sydney Sweeney and Sabrina Carpenter, which I still believe, because like, if you're being so judgmental of someone, it's because you're jealous. But it's okay to feel jealous. You just need to now take that energy and turn it into passion. So I made after completing my chakra series and making a couple controversial posts, I was like, okay, I'm going to, let me come in closer. I decided to make a reconstructing series where I just started picking at my brain and the things that I do that I want to start flipping around. So I made a first one. My first one was I don't even know, but I made my second one was anger into passion, talking about jealousy. My third one, which was one of my best pieces of content I absolutely loved, was a post with Sade, as I hope I'm saying her name right, Sade, the singer, you know, it ain't a crime, whatever, that shit. I used her and I talked about letting go of the financial chase, like chasing a number, and just focusing more on creation. And I noticed ever since stepping away from that, I've turned my outlook into an in-look. My outlook into an in-look on myself, and have been focusing more on creativity. So part 5 of the reconstructing series, I started talking about being hypersexual, because, you know, with assault, that tends to sync up for a lot of people. And I talked about not trying to rid myself of that, but channel that into something that's less shameful, more uplifting, especially because creativity, sexual energy, shame is all in the same sacral chakra, which, you know, chakra stuff. I love the chakra shit now. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I'm even holding my chakra deck right now. I was planning on doing readings, but I wanted to go through each of these cards by myself. I'm not done yet, but when I'm done that, I think I might do readings, maybe. I don't know though, because part of my core values as a person is that I don't necessarily believe in other people telling you exactly what it is that you're supposed to do. Like, I believe in suggestions, but I don't, like, if someone tells you this is how you're supposed to do something, they may be right, but you'll only know for sure if they're right if you and God agree. And so I don't really believe in telling people what to do, especially if they're ignorant on something. Because if they take my advice and then I just gave them some bullshit, I'm gonna feel really bad. So, yeah, I don't really know about the readings, but I have been enjoying going through the chakra cards. I was sharing them for a little bit on my TikTok. So yeah, I feel like I covered a lot. Moving ahead in my business, my next goal My next big couple goals are to go to Dallas, Texas. Why Dallas, Texas? Because there's a huge community of Black business women there. And specifically in the fashion aspect of it all, there are not enough clothes for Black businesswomen that are fashionable and aren't just white corporate doo-doo. I'm tired of that shit. So I feel like, oh shit. I hope that did. Okay, I'm still recording. My phone's dying. I need to hurry up. So I'm gonna have to cut this out. I didn't want to do no cuts. I'm not cutting this shit out. Anyway, I don't have time to edit this shit. I'm in my luteal phase. I'm not editing any of this shit. So in Dallas, Texas, a lot of Black businesswomen, I feel like they need some shit from me. I feel like I have some shit to give to them. So I'm cooking that up because I just feel like I'm just drawn to it. So that also, my customer for my clothes, like my one-on-one shit, has always been like a 30-year-old religious woman, whether she's Christian or Muslim, always Black too. So instead of me kind of just abandoning my Muslim audience, because I have a page that has like 200 followers, which is the most I have on any platform. And instead of abandoning them, I think I'm going to make scarves and get them made for people. So I'm not doing all the selling. Have other people make my shit. So I'm not doing all the selling. So that way I can still design and provide them with that shit, but also start to move my energy into making other shit that I want to make. I want to get a little more designy, a little more creative. I want to work with more companies because working with Urban Outfitters, I just sew for them. I don't design anything. I would love to do a designing collab, and yeah. So that's that. Just shifting my design, shifting my design. Yes, shifting my design, shifting my business plan that isn't me just making clothes out of my ass all day, and just having more growth as a person, right guys, having more growth, isn't that good? Yeah, there's a lot of other shit in my personal life, but I'm not gonna share that on here right now. I might share it later. I want to give a quick update too on the hypersexual creation. That's what I'm calling it on TikTok. In my luteal phase, I don't give a fuck about making anything. I give a fuck about building me. I don't give a fuck about no clothes. I don't give a fuck about my fucking customers. I really don't. So I have to start incorporating that into my business model so that way I can still serve my customers without worrying that I'm not going to be able to meet their needs, because I can't. My personal needs get huge when I'm in my luteal phase. When I'm ovulating, when I'm in my follicular phase, all right, y'all can get the labor out of me. Y'all can get the capitalism out of me. Any other time, no. So yeah, I'm going to pull a quick card. We're almost at 20 minutes. I'm going to pull a quick card. This was a good podcast. I've never really set the scene like this for my podcast. I kind of just go outside in nature usually when I'm I want to record, but it's people out there. Okay, this is the card. This is different than a card I pulled yesterday, but also really similar. It was also a breath card. This one is root chakra. Let's do it together really quick. We're just gonna follow this pose. You see the hand? We're doing a thumb and these two together like this. It says all of what's going on the back, but I already posted this card on my TikTok, so go find it on my personal TikTok. Not on my business one, my personal one, if you want to see the full thing. But I will read the intention on here. I let go of fear, knowing the universe fully supports me. Period. What are we doing? Just thinking on that topic. Not my other random topics, but letting go of fear. Well, I still have a little bit of fear, but I did just let some go. So congrats to me. And I think that's a wrap. My mom's gonna be so mad I'm vaping in her bathroom.